So Hendri, I just want to make the change up now from you told us your starting out story, becoming involved with the family business, fueling station, things like that. And just maybe speak to, it was an established business that you came into, learned your stuff, and then while you were busy with that, you started out the new business. And as I remember it, and I could be wrong, it was first your brother that actually had a trailer. He moved down to Cape Town, and you bought the trailer from him and started a business. And if I look at that business now, I hope he kept some shares in that trailer and didn't sell it outright to you. But tell us about that and that journey.
Yeah, I think so. I grew up in an established business that was already a success when I started to be involved, and my main mission was to make sure that I try my best to keep it a success. But I always had this thing on the inside of me that said that I'd like to do my own thing. You know, I would like to start something that I know that I started this. You know, and so you're correct. My brother had a big trailer, and when he moved, I said I'll buy it from him, and I started renting it out. Well, I thought I was going to rent it out, but with any startup, it was a very, very slow start. I remember buying this trailer and having the idea that I'm going to rent this thing out every single day. And I remember the first 2 weeks went by without a single inquiry, you know, and that was kind of nerve-wracking. But then I remember the first day that somebody actually came and we did our first rental. Even though I wasn't this big successful business, the joy I had out of that one rental, you know, was almost like, wow, okay, so there's potential. You know, there's something. I know it's not big, I know it's not momentum yet, but there is something happening. And then just being patient and seeing, right, it was once every 2 weeks, then once a week, then once every 3 days, and before I knew it, the business was starting to go, and I had to buy some more trailers. Started slow. That business was built very organically over a period of 7 years, and today it is a fully fledged business that we've been able to franchise, and we've got a couple of franchises at different locations in the country. So it's really grown. But also just understanding that sometimes when you start something, it's not going to be an immediate success. You know, everything. If you want success in life, you're going to have to learn the art of being patient and sticking to your guns and not jumping ship too soon. There's this thing that says it takes 1,000 days before you really know if a business is going to be successful or not. Unfortunately, not everybody has the luxury to wait out the 1,000 days, but it is. I've truly seen that at all the branches that we've opened. The moment you hit 1,000 days, then you know, okay, now there's momentum. You can really see there's momentum and the business is running. So yeah, it's been a journey. I learned a lot about being patient, and if you've got a dream, sticking to the dream, even though the first couple of months might not look the way you wished it would look. If you stick to it. If you give a good product at a good price with good service, there's always going to be gap.
You said now that the first 2 weeks you didn't have one rental, and I recently, pretty much a year ago, started my own firm, and there's lots of people that they must take that step, or they started a new business, or they might have started their own attorney firm now, or whatever the case might be, or you have to take the loop. You might be sitting in a job and you want to start something on the side, but you've got all this uncertainty. Should you do it? How do you do it? How can you be certain it's going to work? What emotions did you feel in that time? How did you get through that?
Yeah, I think one of the important things that I had to wrestle with was that if it was easy, everybody would have done it, you know. And I said that earlier. Nothing that's worth having comes without some sort of faith, patience, and then action. I've spoken to a lot of people, and they've got the greatest plan, and they've got the greatest dream, And I honestly think that their plan will really work. I've sat with people, I'm like, especially in ministry, I've sat with businessmen and they're working for a company and they want to start their own thing and they really have a brilliant business plan. This thing will work. I'll invest in this. But for some reason, they never start. They never take that first step. And if you're not going to be willing to take the first step, you can't expect something to happen if you don't do it. You know, many people sit and wait for the right time. There's never going to be a right time to start a business. I promise you. If you're going to wait for the right time, you're going to wait till it's too late. You know, the graveyard is filled with great plans, you know, and great ideas. But somewhere you need to say, listen, it's not perfect yet. The timing is not perfect. The finance is not perfect. I don't have it all figured out. But you need to say, okay, I'm just going to climb out of this boat and I'm going to give it a go. You know, and there's clever ways to do that. I think if there's a business passion that's brewing on the inside of you and you are still working for a company, hey, guess what you're going to start doing with your Saturdays? You know, instead of resting, start working on your business. Start seeing if you can't get it up and running while you're still working for the company that you're working for. And trust and work hard to see, because there's going to be that space where, okay, now it's viable. But it's always going to be a leap of faith. It's always going to be trusting, working hard and saying, okay, I'm going to go for it. Because if you don't step out, if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you.
And just a connection I see now, and that might also be the fruit of you having to work when you were younger at school, being able to, in your own downtime, get something else going as well, where most of us, especially me, if I don't want to do something on my Saturday, I've got this dream, I've got this passion, I want to start something, a side hustle or whatever the case might be. But Saturdays and Sundays, I want to lie on the couch and watch rugby or whatever, whatever it is. And just maybe that realization that it's going to take work. It's going to take sacrifice.